Aloha and welcome, everyone. I am your host, Psychic Intuitive Geralyn St. Joseph. Today, what we're discussing is the chaos that is our world right now, what is happening, and what we can do about it. And specifically, we're going to be talking about grounding, and we're going to be practicing a few grounding techniques so that you know how to do it when you need to do it and when your energy is getting a little too high and all over the place. So let's begin. It is October 30th, 2024. However, the information that I'm going to be giving you, you can use whenever you find this, because when you find it is when you need it. Right now, the Earth is being bombarded by solar storms. I'm not seeing it in the news very much, and unless you know what to look for, nobody's really talking about it. Part of the reason in America why nobody's talking about it is because we have this presidential election coming up. And by the time you see that, that might be over and the winner may have been announced. However, the stress of a major event like that, which whoever the whoever wins will really change the world in a lot of different ways, and not just America. And it's because America is so big that it affects other things. Knowing this and knowing the stress that our whole system is under, if you are sensitive in any way, an empath, or even electronically sensitive, you might be sensitive like physically, you might have a highly sensitive personality. All of these things are being poked right now in different ways. So although you can find things on Google and things like that about the solar storms, it's not really being hyped up in the news, at least not where I am. People want to talk about these huge storms that are happening, and they want to talk about, oh, all this stuff is happening. It's all global warming and this, that, and the other thing. Not saying global warming doesn't exist. However, things like solar storms and this type of activity makes a huge difference. And it's not just solar storms, there's a lot of cosmic activity also. When we look at this, we can look at it a lot of different ways. If you're a skeptic about astrology, look at the astronomy of things. You can look at the actual physics that are happening right now, and you will see that a lot of energies are being dispersed, and the Earth is maybe not the center of things, but we are being bombarded with different things. As we move forward, if we are aware of this, then we can have a better grip on how we handle things and what's going to happen with us. The other thing that all this cosmic cacophony creates is that it also will make things seem more tense, which we were already talking about, but it can cause more earthquakes. It can add to like a seismic activity. The other thing that's happening is that we are experiencing a change in what's called the Schumann Resonance. And what is the Schumann Resonance? Well, the Schumann Resonance the Schumann Resonance is what's called the heartbeat of the Earth. It stays at a certain pitch generally, and it will fluctuate a little bit. But right now, it's shifting much more than it has in the past, and it seems to be changing to where it's going to stay at a different pitch. Our bodies, because we are earthlings, are sensitive to the Schumann resonance. So when it's changing, it affects us physically. Some people will get sick, some people will get well, some people will feel anxious, other people might feel depressed, you might feel excited. So it does different things to our bodies energetically and physically, because we have to remember that our system is electrical. And all this electrical interference that is around us, that is coming from the sun, that is coming from cosmic rays, that is coming from the change in the Schumann resonance, all of this affects us. That, and then everyday stuff, food not being affordable, not being able to put gas in your car, looking at, all these wide sweeping changes that may or may not occur, looking at natural or unnatural disasters like the Lahaina fire that destroyed the city and North Carolina. We're looking at all these things and we're seeing things for the first time in a different way. I'm not going to talk a lot about astrology, but part of what the astrology shows us is that we are in a period of time where things cannot be hidden anymore. So when people are lying, they're going to be caught out. They're going to be caught. They're going to be told on. There's going to be video. There might be something else that comes out. Now, whether or not you want to pay attention to that is something altogether different. But things like P. Diddy being arrested after decades of debauchery and crimes. And you have people like these different celebrities, and I'm not going to name anybody because they're just beginning to dribble out now, all these different celebrities who were part of this cult-like activity, they're getting caught up in the web also. You cannot deny anymore who you are and what you've been doing, because now is the time for everything to come to the surface. One of the things that's happening, so one of our wonderful guests and attendees let us know from astro.com that Pluto re-enters Aquarius on November 19th. So Pluto's been in and out of it. Right now, it's going in this time for good. When it goes into Aquarius, I'm not sure how long of a period of time it's there, but Pluto tends to stay in a sign for a longer period of time than most of the other planets because of how far out it is. So from our perspective, it seems to be in a sign for a longer period of time. It will not leave the sign until 1943. I'm going back in time. We're doing time travel. And I don't know if this video is going to record, because if we're in 1943, this technology does not exist. Anyway, so it will not leave the sign of Aquarius. Pluto will not leave the sign of Aquarius until 2043. Under the influence of Aquarius, we must redefine what it means to be human. And that means as individuals and as a collective. So here in America, one of the things, wibbly wobbly, timey wimey stuff. Exactly. Here in America, one of the big debates or concerns is about abortion and what they call abortion rights. And when you talk about the two opposing sides that are the extremes, they are not what most people are talking about. What most people are concerned with is once a child is viable, they should not be aborted, because basically then you're killing a human being. Yes, they're always human, but before they're viable outside the womb, they're not their own human. Most people agree on that. You have people like the Clintons who, during their time, they're the ones who said, oh, you can have a partial birth abortion, which is awful. And when we're talking about being human, is it human to do something like that? Or is that inhuman? If that was someone doing it to someone else, is that human or inhuman? And is it human because it's maybe the mother's choice, or she may feel pushed into that? Where do we start to become humans? What is happening? All these different things are coming to a head right now, more than ever. The way I see it is that we all talked about 2012. Well, first we talked about the year 2000. And when I was a kid, I was like, oh, I'm going to live through the year 2000. Now I'm like, oh God, that was not what I thought it was going to be. Then we talked about the year 2012, and we talked about how things were going to change and the world was going to end. What happened in 2012 was there was a shift in energy and a shift in perception that is still moving. And that is where it started in earnest, and things have shifted quite a bit. And there's these arguments about what it means to be human. What does it mean to protect your child? Do you have the right to protect your child? What does it mean to speak your truth? Do you have a right to speak your truth if somebody else doesn't believe that and it bothers them that you believe that? All these different questions are coming up, not just in America, but all over the world. All this is a shift into a new way of being. We need to make a decision. You're not along for the ride. You cannot straddle the fence. You need to make a decision. Who are you? Who do you want to be? And what kind of world do you want to live in? Now is the time. There is no more waiting. That being said, because of all these energies all over the place and everything like really being stirred up, things feel very chaotic. There's a lot of road rage. People seem confused. There seems to be a great deal of tension. What do we do about these emotions? Like, how do we handle this? The best way for us as individuals to handle it, and as we handle it, then it is handled by those who are connected to us by cord. Cords are connections between us and the people around us and the people that we love or we have feelings for in some way, whether it's love or other feelings. We have energy cords between us and we trade energy back and forth. When it's healthy, it's an even trade back and forth. When it's unhealthy, it's just going all one way or all the other. That's for another video. But when we lift ourselves up, or as we're going to do today, ground ourselves so that we feel more stable, what happens is everyone who is connected to us gets a little boost because of that. They get pushed in the right direction so that they're feeling more calm. And being near us and around us, if we're calm, helps calm those around us. Then when they're calm, the people around them will be calm, and so on and so forth. It's just like when you're angry and you're yelling and your energy is going all over the place, it hits the people around you and those connected to you, and then it goes out from there. So we want to do the opposite of that. We want to bring peace. We want to bring calm, which brings us to grounding. A lot of people say, you just need to ground. You need a little grounding. What the heck does that mean? And I've talked on this subject before, but I feel like you can never really talk about it enough because it's something that people need to be aware of in a lot of different ways. And it's something that we need to remember to do almost every day, I'd say. But most especially, if you're feeling anxious, if you are shaky, if you are jumpy, if you are feeling weighed down, if you are feeling like you don't know what's going on and very chaotic, grounding can help so much. Because when we're grounding, what that is specifically is connecting to the earth. We are connecting to the earth mother and to the energies of the earth. And what we are doing is we are setting our vibration with the earth. And especially right now, when the Schumann Resonance is changing, to bring us back into balance with the earth will help us as we move forward. It helps your health. It helps the way you're thinking. It helps your spirituality. It helps in so many different ways on every level. Am I saying it's a miracle cure? No. But it does help. What it does is it creates a good foundation for you so that you can you can lay roots and you can feel more stable. When we're grounding, there are a lot of different ways to do it. So I'm going to describe different ways to do it. And then we're going to practice. We're going to practice probably a little journey or a meditation at the end. The first way, and the easiest way is that people talk about all the time, is if you can get outdoors where there's actual dirt in the ground and you have grass or trees, if it's safe, take your shoes off and put your feet in the dirt. Put your feet on the ground. I mean, you don't have to dig into the dirt, but put your feet on the ground. If you're near the ocean, that is the most wonderful way to ground it all of all, because you're on the sand. And then when you walk into the water, the salt in the water is very high vibration. And it pulls all the negativity off of you and it will ground you. That's great health benefits to being in the ocean or being in salt water. If you can't take your shoes off because there's fire ants in your yard or something like that, we've been to several states where there were fire ants. You don't want your shoes off in places like that. You might want to touch a tree or hug a tree. You might want to touch its leaves and feel its branches and just commune with the tree. Yes, I am a tree hugger. I never understood why people thought that that was an insult. Like, I've been called that, and I realized later that they were saying it like almost as an insult. And I'm like, that's not an insult, because plants are here to help us. Plants, especially trees, they breathe in our carbon dioxide and they breathe out the oxygen that we need. So it's a symbiotic relationship. We breathe out what they need, they take it in, and then they breathe out what we need. So we're helping each other all the time. The more trees that there are, especially in cities and things like that, the cleaner the air is. That's what they do. That's what plants and swamps and trees do, is they clean our air. They give us oxygen, and we should love them for that. And we should honor them for that. So tree hugging, feet on the grass if you can, or in the dirt. Hands in the dirt if you like gardening and things like that. If you don't have access to those things, because maybe you're an inner city kid, maybe you have nothing but concrete around you. It happens. Or maybe you're not allowed to touch the trees. House plants also work. If you have a house plant, you talk to it. There are studies that show that if someone has plants around them while they're working, they tend to be more productive. It helps us with our focus, and it also helps us with our mood. So the green helps our mood to be more regulated and happier. So that is one of the easiest, simplest ways, is just simply to commune with nature. Go on a hike. Look at a tree, even if you're looking out your window, or you're looking online and you're watching somebody else taking a hike and looking at trees. But put yourself in that state and allow the vibration and the song of the earth to enter you and commune with you. That is grounding. Another way to do grounding, if you don't have access to the ocean, which a good portion of the world does not, is to have a sea salt bath. You could put sea salt in warm water. If you can't take a full-on bath, maybe you don't have a bathtub. I know a lot of places don't have bathtubs now. Use it as a foot bath. If you can't even do that, put it on a face cloth. Wet a face cloth, put a little bit of sea salt in there, fold it over, and just place it on yourself, on your forehead or on your chest, or wherever you want to put it, where it would feel comfort and bring you comfort. Very simple things to ground. One of my favorite ways to ground, of course, is with crystals. My favorite. So there's so many crystals. I mean, crystals in general will help you ground because they all are part of the earth, unless they're man-made. But crystals that are real crystals, agates, gemstones, anything like that will help you to ground. Oh, also using something like sage or lemongrass or cedar, that smell. So if it's the winter time and you're someplace where it's cold and you have like an outdoor little fire pit, or you have a fireplace in your house, all of those things can help you to ground it, and you just connect with the earth. And I know I just talked about trees and loving trees and everything, and now I'm talking about burning trees, but everything has its cycle. So just like the trees give us fuel once they have died, we feed them once we have died. As long as you're not just getting cremated, like let your body go to the soil. Anyway, we're getting off track. Crystals. So crystals that are specifically known to connect you with the earth are things like moss agate. My friend Jody gave me this. You see the little heart in it? I love it. I love stones that have like little windows and things, because when I meditate with them, I will put myself into the window. So there you go. I'm trying to see if that'll, will it focus? No. Okay. I tried. I'm sorry, but this is beautiful. So moss agate is excellent, whether you wear it as a bracelet or you carry it as a stone or you leave it in your room, however you want to utilize it. Moss agate is probably one of the top stones that I would say for grounding in that way. You can use darker stones like black tourmaline. Where's my other one? I think this one I think is obsidian, and this one is tourmaline. Now they're similar in the way they look sometimes, but the way that obsidian is created is different than the way tourmaline is created. They do have different properties, but they are both good for grounding stones. Most of your black stones are. One of my favorites also is called carbon quartz, not to be mistaken with smoky quartz. Smoky quartz is also good, but carbon quartz has carbon inclusions in the quartz. So when you look at it, you cannot see light through it. Carbon quartz is a very powerful stone, and it helps to pull like all your negativity out, all your stress out of your body. It's like my friend and I call it the sink. You hold that, and if you are sensitive, you could feel it just pull everything out, and it feels so much better after you've held it. So carbon quartz is a really good one. This is not carbon. This is tourmaline, black tourmaline. We have hematite, which is a stone that looks like metal. And hematite is both a very protective stone and a grounding stone. So hematite is very connected to the earth. And as you see, it is reflective. So it will reflect negativity back to the sender, which makes it very protective. Today's going to be a lot about agates. This is called, let's see if we can get this one in there. Come on. Here we go. It did it and then it stopped. Come on. It just does not want to. Okay. Well, this is very pretty. It is called flower agate. So, and it has all these different little inclusions in it. It comes in a variety of colors. It's got whites and purples and pinks and then clear parts, a little bit of green. And flower agate, again, very soothing, very calming, very connected to the earth. So that's a good stone. Then we also have, here's another piece of tourmaline, black tourmaline. Now, tourmaline can be very expensive, or you could find cheaper pieces if they're not gemstone quality. And that's going to be the difference when you're looking at things. If something is gemstone quality, then generally speaking, it's going to be more expensive because someone can make a piece of jewelry out of it. And if they can do that, it has a higher value. I had another bracelet with me that I was going to show you. I don't know where it went, but that's okay. We could do a whole lesson just on grounding stones and how to utilize them. So, and then you have things like copper or iron, and those things are very grounding also. They will help you feel more solid and more connected to earth. Let's talk about the chakras. When we're talking about the chakras and we talk about grounding, you're talking about your belly button and your root chakra. But you do have chakras below that most people don't know to activate because they're not part of the core. So even though your root is between your sitting bones and it is red or black, and the stones that you use for that are things like this is carnelian, one of my favorite stones. They're all my favorite stones. Let's just face it. Let's just deal with facts. I just love stones. Let's get that out of the way. So you activate your root, and then below your root, between your knees, is I call it your genu point, but it's like the inside of both of your knees is a chakra it's a whole chakra when your legs are together. So, and then it becomes larger, when your legs are apart, but it's still a full chakra there. Then you go down to your feet at your insteps at the bottom of your feet. There's another chakra where it's like part of it is on one foot and the other part is on the other foot, but it's always whole, even if your feet are apart. And I call that your petty point. I'm not sure if other people have different phrasing for it, but the most important chakra in this discussion is your Gaia point. Your Gaia point is below you. Now, some people say it's 18 inches below you. I feel like it varies in depth depending on the person and what's happening with them at that time. But if you just imagine a point below you and you imagine it being, I usually show that one as unakite, which I don't have a unakite in front of me right now, but a unakite is a red feldspar and epidote, which is green and like an orangey pink color. And it looks like earth. So it's a nice combination of like red clay, earth, and green. So your Gaia point, when that is open and active, you are connected with the earth, and it will help to pull out any impurities from your energy system. All of that, like your root down, a lot of that is like, that is what helps evacuate the energies you don't need. And it also helps to connect you with the earth. So what happens is that whatever we're evacuating, whatever energetic or energies we need to let go of that is going into the earth is recycling that. It's just like when an animal has scat or goes to the bathroom, or when something dies and then it decays, the earth takes that and creates something new out of it. It's recycling it. It's using that energy and it's using those nutrients to grow and become something different. It's doing the same thing with our energetic systems. So in a nutshell, again, what grounding is reconnecting with the earth. It's part of being human, is our connection with the earth. It's part of being an earthling, so to speak. And no matter what way you do it, it's just being conscious of it will help you to find your foundation and find strength in these times of chaos when things are really stressful and things are very difficult, if you allow yourself to connect with the earth and allow the earth to support you, you can call her the earth mother. You could call her mother, Mother God, Gaia, if you want to look at it as part of the Trinity, if you want to look at it as a female source, if you want to look at it as a part of God's creation that is there to help you, however you want to look at it is up to you. Now let's begin our little ceremony, our little shamanic journey to ground ourselves so that when we leave today, we will feel so much better. I am marking the beginning of the shamanic journey so that it's easier for people to find it. Okay. All righty. And here we go. Okay. Take a deep breath. Hold it and relax. And again. And relax. There's a ball of white light above our heads. From it emanate shafts of light that enter us through the tops of our heads and fills us with its energy. Feel this energy as it courses through you, cleansing, balancing, and protecting. Continue to breathe deeply and let go of all your stress. Feel the chair that you're sitting in or the ground beneath you. Allow yourself to be supported. Imagine we step into a forest. We are barefoot, but the path ahead is sandy and cool. And it slowly turns into moss, fallen leaves. We hear the leaves as they crunch beneath our feet. The sun shows through the leaves of the trees, the tall, beautiful, amazing trees all around us, to either side of our narrow path. And as we walk, we touch them. We say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And as they breathe out, we breathe in. And as we breathe out, they breathe in. Out, in. This is the cycle of nature. We feel the warm sunlight as it touches our skin, and we can smell the amazing, clean, fresh air of the breeze. And we can hear in the distance the sounds of a little brook or creek, water traveling happily over stones and rocks and making its way through the forest. And as we move forward, we hear the giggling, happy bubbling of the creek before us. And as we get closer, the air changes, becomes cooler, moister, and the warmth of the sun touches our skin, tickles our senses, and we are warm and cool at the same time. And as the wind whistles through the trees, it plays with our hair, caresses our arms, and touches our face. We continue to walk deeper into the forest and closer to the bubbling brook. And suddenly there is an opening before us with a short field of wildflowers and green grass. And the sun illuminates everything with brilliant yellows and pinks and reds, even purples and blues. You take a deep breath. We could smell the lavender and the lilac, the roses, the lilies, and all the wildflowers all around us. We see the buzzing of the bees. We see them hopping from flower to flower as each flower greets them and gives them what they can, and they move on. And before us, a short distance away, is the laughing, playing, giggling, bubbling brook. And we see as it moves over the gray stones, some of which shimmer with sunlight, some of which have different colors in them. They're made smooth by the power of the water. And we step forward and we kneel before it. We place our hand in the water. It is cold. We know it comes from a long distance away, and it is absolutely clear. We could see everything in the brook. We could see the tiny fish. We can see a frog. We hear its song. And we scoop up some of the water and we splash it in our face. It is cool and cleansing. And the brook continues to sing its song, babbling and moving, and we feel refreshed. And as we are here, with the water in front of us and on us, with the sun above us and the sunlight warming us, with the gentle breeze caressing us, and the earth wet and buoyant below us, supporting us. We close our eyes. Thank you. Thank you, sun. Thank you, earth. Thank you, trees and foliage. Thank you, birds, for your beautiful song. Thank you, brook, for your laughter, your power, and your cleansing nature. Thank you, breeze, for letting us know that we are loved as you caress our skin and hold us gently. Thank you, God and creation. And take a deep breath and relax. Feel all of your muscles relax. Let go of any anxiety, any stress, any tension. Know you are fully supported and loved. Lay back in the grass. Feel the earth support you. Hear the song of the forest all around you. Know that you are loved and taken care of always, regardless of what things may seem. Have faith in your heritage. You are a spiritual being, a human being. Spirit, please guide us. Let us know what is for our highest and greatest good. Allow us the vision and the clarity and the forethought to move forward in confidence, in loving kindness, in faith, in gratitude. What is it I most need to know? How might I serve? Take a deep breath and release it slowly. As you stand up and turn your back to the brook and bid farewell, we move back to the forest, through the leaves, touching the trees along the way as they breathe out and we breathe in. And we breathe out and they breathe in. gratitude in our hearts, and kindness in our souls, we move forward, back out of the forest, stepping back into your body. Feel the weight of yourself being supported by whatever it is beneath you. Take a deep breath and breathe out. And feel your toes and your legs and your hips and your stomach and your solar plexus and your heart and your arms and your chest and your head. And feel the ball of white light contract and ascend into the heavens, being there whenever you need it to call upon for cleansing and clarity, for protection, and as a reminder of who you are. Amen. Okay, I don't know if everybody is still with us, but the other thing that we're going to talk about, I know this is a big jump from just being all relaxed and everything, is being open to the information that we're being given. In our meditation, we did ask for some guidance. If you remember what you received, please write it down. Always drinking plenty of clean water is good once you've done this type of meditation or clearing of any kind. And the other thing would be that it's always good to be open to any dreams that may come in the next day or so, because your answer may be there if you feel like you did not get one while we were full in meditation. So turning from that, the one thing that I wanted to show everyone is that I discovered this amazing YouTuber, and I do YouTube myself. His name is Stephen Burns, and he does a lot of information about the space weather, the planetary alignments, and more. And he explains things really well. Some of it is very technical, but he is an excellent person to watch. I highly recommend. So if you want to know more about what's happening with the Schumann Resonance and other things like that, he is a good person to watch, I find. I just wanted to share that with you guys so that if you were interested in seeing him or learning more about those aspects of what's happening right now, that you could look him up. So with that, I think we're pretty much done. If you have any questions, please let me know. Let me look in the chat and see if there's anything. So yes, we've been having a lot of really interesting events happening where people are really, really stressed out. It seems like for a lot of people, money has like come to a complete halt. Not even a crawl, but a complete halt for a lot of people. Major shifts in their careers and things like that. So if you need help figuring things out, feel free to give me a call and we can discuss either coaching or doing a reading. And my website is GeralynSt.Joseph.com. You could also find me at Relationship Coach G as in girl, SJ as in St. Joseph.com. This is Geralyn St. Joseph signing off. Make sure you comment below. Let me know if you got anything in out of the whole thing. Just leave some comments. Let me know how you feel. Let me know how you like the journey. Let me know what's happening and any other topics you would like us to talk about. Right now, I'm still on meetup.com, and you can find me at Mystery, Mystics, and Metaphysics if you would like to join our group. And we also have relationship empowerment if you're more interested in that side of things. This is Geralyn St. Joseph. Thank you so much for staying to the end. And please don't forget to like and subscribe. Do the little bell if you want to know, if you want to be notified. That's the notification bell when I do upload. I try to upload regularly, but I'm not great at it. So I admit that about myself. So if you want to know when new things are coming up, please hit the bell, subscribe, and like. Leave me a comment. Thank you so much. You have a blessed day. Mahalo.